Representative Ansari, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair Fox and Ranking Member McGovern. I'm here to testify in opposition to H.R. 4090, sponsored by Representative Stauber. At a time of total chaos across our nation, a partial government shutdown, ICE terrorizing communities and murdering Americans in the streets, and countless other crises, our colleagues across the aisle have chosen to spend time on a bill that hands the mining industry the power to gut its own regulations while doing nothing to actually secure American critical mineral supply chains. Now, I do support mining where appropriate, where there are proper environmental and labor safeguards, and I do believe that there are some positive aspects of this bill. But that does not mean that we should be handing over the keys to the industry to pick and choose its own regulations, because I've also seen what happens when mining goes wrong. We've seen water contaminated with toxic pollution, groundwater run dry, and tribal sacred sites and cultural resources disrespected and destroyed. This bill effectively directs the mining industry to tell Interior and the Forest Service which regulations to eliminate. Regulations that are essential to protecting communities from toxic waste and polluted drinking water, and that ensure our communities have sufficient opportunity to have their voices heard. And as we've repeatedly raised, our domestic mining industry is dominated currently by foreign companies, some even owned by our adversaries, and nearly all of whom pay no royalty back to the American people for extracting publicly owned minerals. This bill makes it even easier for these foreign-owned companies to take our American resources for free. Under H.R. 4090, any mine the Secretary deems a, quote, priority would get fast-track approval, even if it is owned by a foreign adversary of the United States and the minerals would be shipped abroad, or if it would devastate a local community. Again, I support responsible domestic mining. We need minerals for our modern economy, and I want to see secure, strong supply chains, but we cannot mine our way to security with brute force. We need to work with our allies to strategically source and process minerals. We need a recycling industry, and we need to explore innovative, low-impact ways to source essential minerals, such as from more mine tailings. And while there are some parts of this bill that direct the government to conduct studies on some of these findings, it's clear the primary purpose is to gut regulations and hand over even more power to an industry that is already getting pretty much everything that they've asked for. This bill does not come up in a vacuum. We must consider who benefits from this mining free-for-all. Just 2 weeks ago, the Trump administration announced that it would invest over $1 billion and take an equity stake in USA Rare Earths, a mining and manufacturing company. Reporting uncovered that USA Rare Earth hired Cantor Fitzgerald to help with fundraising, a firm chaired by Brandon Lutnick, the son of Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick. And in October, the Trump administration announced equity investments in mining company Trilogy Metals, while simultaneously directing agencies to fast-track permitting for Ambler Road, the controversial project needed to access Trilogy Metals' proposed mine site. Trilogy Metals' third largest shareholder is John Alfred Paulson, a Trump mega donor and economic advisor. His shares increased $70 million in value after the announcement. The administration is making a pattern out of picking winners and losers in the mining industry, and a suspicious number of those winners have close ties to Trump officials. These deals tie taxpayer dollars to corporate balance sheets and incentivize administration officials to prioritize individual corporate interests over the broader public good. Earlier today, Ranking Member Huffman of the Natural Resources Committee and Ranking Member Garcia of the Oversight Committee, both committees I am fortunate to serve on, sent a letter to the administration demanding answers on the Trump administration's taxpayer-funded mining spending spree. To date, there has been no public disclosure of procedures or safeguards in place to ensure that these ownership stakes do not influence permitting decisions, regulation, enforcement, contracting decisions, or any other agency decisions relating to these mining and mineral projects. Before we give this administration even more power to enrich themselves at the expense of everyday Americans, let's get answers to at least some of these questions. I reiterate my interest in working with colleagues on innovative ideas in the mineral space, but I cannot support this bill as written. Thank you. I yield back.